let me open it up to you guys. You guys just kind of without talking over each other too much. What do you guys think about the immigration, the illegal immigration, migration? Like, is it an issue where you're at? Do you think it's going to continue to be one of the main issues, like a lot of people are talking about within this community? How do you think that's going to roll out and for the rest of this year and going into 2025? Dino, I'll start with
well, it's small right now because when people trying to get into Arizona, they know that this is the first place that they're going to go look for these illegals, right? So they want to get the hell out of Arizona. This is just a stepping stone to get into New York or to right away, quickly go to Florida or go like up north. They don't want to stay around here because they know they're going to be combing this area with a fine comb here. And the immigrants know that to the core. That's why they don't try to stay and keep over here. So that's why we don't have that big of an issue here. This is just a port just to start from to venture into other states.
Gotcha.
What about you? States, it's never here. So we don't have that much of a big issue right now, as of right now.
Yeah.
What about you, Roy?
There is some, but it's not as bad.
Uber Jeep Arizona said it's rampant out there. So you say it's not. He said
no,
it is.
Because she's seeing the people that are temporary around here. There's a lot of them because they're coming through here. The borders. It's not even. It's like
I'm gonna bust your balls since Pedro didn't.
Yeah.
And how do you know if they're illegals or not? Do you ask them to see their phone? Because let me tell you something. I work at a W-2 job where I deal with dashers.
Show me your papers.
And I'm seeing on average 5 to 6. I'm seeing 5 to 6 dashers that aren't on that platform. I see Maria and Juan shows up, or I see Juan and I see Maria show up. I see this 5 or 6 times a day. So you can't sit there and say you don't know if it's rampant or not if you're not in a position to see it. Where I'm in a position to see it, I'm seeing it 5 to 6 times a day just in my shift alone, where I'm seeing people that aren't the right person on that app that's supposed to be picking up that food. Like I said, you got Tyrone, and then Taniqua shows up, or whatever the case may be. I'm not trying to be racist. I'm just pulling out names on my app. But that's what I'm seeing. So
and you went straight to Tyrone and Taniqua.
It's housing here in Arizona. They have hotels for the image.
Oh,
but permanent. What you see is permanent. They're here for like maybe a month or 2 months or 3 months, and you see in that. But after that, you're not going to see those people anymore because they're moving. They're moving out. And that's the people who are covering this shit, not from me personally. It's from the reports that we're getting from our channel news here in Arizona. They are covering this every day. They're going to Scottsdale. That's where most of the hotels are. Scottsdale, south of Phoenix. A lot of hotels over there. And they're putting the immigrants in there for a small period of time. And what I mean small, not days, I mean like 2-3 months, sometimes 6 months, even a year. But after that, they're not staying longer than that. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with that?
But it doesn't matter whether they stay there. It doesn't matter whether they stay there or not. They're still an illegal immigrant, whether they move to Nevada,
they're still
an illegal immigrant. It doesn't matter where they stay, like where they go to.
Yeah, they're
here. Let's keep it to what you like. Do you guys think your markets are being impacted by it? But before I get to, I want to get Gig Bell Tolls, Jonathan, UDM, and AM in here on this conversation as well, and Bud Soda. But do you think your market's impacted? And that might be an issue why earnings are down. But then also, how can we Skydasher? I put it up because, like I said in the beginning of the show, how can I look at the 5 Indian guys that I saw this week or whatever that are from India? How can I look at them and assume that they are an immigrant?
Yeah,
I can't do that. I think that's really ignorant of me to assume that they're a legal immigrant or a migrant. They might have been born here. I have no idea.
Exactly.
So I think some of us, that's how I look at it. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, but I think we have to think about that. Gig Bell Tolls, what do you think? Is your market impacted by what many others are saying their markets are?
Hell, dude, I'm in Texas. There's lots of illegals here, man. But it's not my business. I don't get in their shit. Hey, they came to this country. They want to beat the system. Fine. It hasn't really been affecting me much. I have noticed. I mean, I've noticed something weird with DoorDash today. I was in Grand Prairie, and the tier system is over there in DoorDash, right? But when I got back home, it's not there. It's weird. Weird, makes no sense. But anyway, that's another topic.
Yeah.
Anyway, but no, it's. I mean, I'm not gonna. It's just rude to walk up to somebody and like ask, like, hey, you're illegal. Why are you doing this? Man, he's doing it for the same reason why I'm doing it. I mean, it's easy money. Don't take a lot of withdrawal or know-how.
Yeah.
And it's. Who am I to tell him he's wrong for trying to do what he's trying to do, right? So
Yeah.
So can I bust your balls a little bit too?
No, I want to add what he's saying.
Please.
No, I'm busting balls. I'm up here to bust balls. That's why y'all want me.
Hold on, let me put my protective cup on, dude. Give me a second.
Because now you're becoming part of the problem. If you sit there and say, "Oh, I don't care about it. They're just here to do this," then you're part of the problem because they're taking food out not only your mouth and your family's mouth, but your neighbor, the next door neighbor. Yeah. They're taking money out of your guys' pocket. So you can't sit there and say, "Oh, I really don't care." What is it going to take for you to care when you're not making no money at all? So somebody's got to step up and start saying, "I care," and start trying to reach out and do something about it. Like I said, I'm in a position on my
W2. Fair point.
I see it all day long. I see people don't speak English. They do this all day because they can't speak. They can't even speak to you because and like I said, Maria and then a Juan shows up or somebody else. Totally different names on the account to the people that are coming in.
Roy, Americans are doing the same thing.
Yeah, but you can tell when somebody doesn't speak English to you. I've been around enough Hispanic people that they know a little bit of English, but I'm talking these guys can't even tell you the customer's name, that they don't even speak English. They just do this. And that's their whole way of communicating with you, is just to show you the phone because they can't say anything else to you. And I'm not dogging them. It is what it is, but we can't sit back and just say, "Oh, I don't care. It doesn't affect me as long as I'm making mine." Then you become part of the problem and not the solution. And the fact that DoorDash even allows this kind of stuff and it's going on the way it is, whether Spark's doing it or something's got to be done about it because, like you said, it's in your pot. They don't care about the tip. I can guarantee these guys, they'll take the $2 all day long and they'll work the 18, 20 hours because they'll just pass that phone on to the next guy that they're, living with or whatever. And they just keep going 24 hours a day. And then you wonder why you only seeing $2 because once again, we all know customers are trash. And if I can get my McDonald's picked up for $2, I'm only going to pay $2. That's how it's going to work.
Yeah. Jonathan, go ahead. I think you had your hand raised. This isn't school, Jonathan. You ain't got to raise your hand. Go ahead, though. Go ahead.
And I'm not being mean to you, bro. I'm just balls. I like to.
Dude, I'm completely 420'd out, dude. Nobody can make me mad.
So guys, me, I'm in Canada. So in Canada, we have some. I start to see like Roy said, people don't speak English. I saw some people from Ukraine start to show their phone, and I'm like, how Uber or DoorDash let those people come in? How they let go? Like me, when I start for Uber, I would need to go to the Green Hub and see some person at the office. But now they're doing all on their phone. They were just put on their phone and they go easy on the app. That's the issue because nobody's know if they're speaking English or they're doing everything. So that's making a problem. And like Roy said, like some people don't care, but some people care because they're taking us our order. And I have some few friends from other countries. I need to start telling them, stop taking trash order, stop taking those, stop. And they're like, why? I'm like, because the customers need to understand to stop fucking not tipping us. And if you guys just keep taking those trash order, they're gonna just keep doing. And now they start to learning about, okay, no, this is not a good one, this not a good one, this not a good one, this not a good one. So yeah.
Yeah, there's no regulation, man. There's no regulation with these apps. That's a big issue too. The regulation on these platforms it's not existent. That's why a lot of this shit that we're seeing is happening. There's got to be some regulation, not like a total. We don't want to go totally 0 and totally 100. There's got to be some little bit of regulation on certain facts. that are happening with the app.
What's good regulation that you could?
That you cannot hire people who don't even have a driver's license. They don't even have a birth certificate. They don't have anything, and you hire them. But you're giving a hard time to Americans when they move from one state to another, and they're hiring these stupid checker company that doesn't know their ass from their elbow. They're telling you that your license has expired. Well, you have a new license that it takes 20 years to expire. They go so hard on people who have papers and everything, but zero control over people who ghosts in the state. Pretty much, you're like a ghost. If they want to track you, they don't know where you're from, where you live, nothing. But they can work for DoorDash, Spark, and Uber Eats, and all the platforms.
Well, how does DoorDash and these other gig companies, how do they vet somebody through software when they might show an ID, and that software might not be able to detect if it's real or not?
They're not trying. I don't think they're trying. I think they know. I think they know, but they're not trying.
Well, the issue, Pedro, issue on DoorDash, they should do like Uber, like need to take a screen on their face. Yeah. Every time I need to log in on Uber, they just scan my face.
Yeah, there's workarounds. There's
workarounds. Yeah,
there's workarounds to that. There's also GPS. They could also work around the GPS and Androids. I don't want to infiltrate your channel with any kind of.
Yeah, it's all good, man.
And I'm not, and I'm not that kind of guy. You know, the mask.
I don't know. You look kind of like a ninja, dude. You could look like you could infiltrate some stuff.
I'm out here trying to kill legislations, though, man. I'm out here trying to kill legislations, though, because what they did in New York isn't right.
Right? Share. But AM, what is your market been impacted by the saturation of immigrants or migrants or whatever? Like, have you seen that? What do you think about it? Is it an issue? Is it not for you in your marketplace?
Yeah, I see them. I mean, since I first started, you got guys from Nigeria, you got guys from Mexico. And I mean, a lot of the thing is like, these people don't have the strategy. They don't have the seniority that we do. And it does affect us. I agree. Sure. I understand that, it does affect us, but there's always a workaround. There's always a new strategy. There's always something new you could try out. There's always like a different market you could try. There's a different app. There's a job you could get. I mean, land of opportunity, guys, So I get it, though. It's a good discussion. Yeah. I understand. I live right next to New York. Yeah. So I don't want to blow up my market because I like my market a lot.
I hear you.
But
I have a different perspective on this entire subject. My parents, they're not illegal immigrants, but they're from St. Lucia. They had to go through the whole process of getting naturalized and everything to become American, right? Or a U.S. citizen. So when I see, all right, so here's my perspective. It's multiple parts of this, all right? So just bear a little patience with me. So knowing people that, knowing where my family come from, there's this thought of America, land of the great, land of the free, you could land of the opportunity, So it's easy. It's not easy to get in America if you don't have the proper documentation to get in here, right? Especially like a visa or something, right? But if you have a visa or a working visa or whatever it is, you could get over here, even if you don't speak a lick of English, right? Yeah. And a lot of people come over here to just work and send things back home for their family that have little or nothing, So it's like I see all kinds of immigrants, some that don't speak English, but they're not Hispanic. They're not all Hispanic. Yeah, I see people from countries that they can't even speak English, but I don't know. I don't want to assume where they're from, but it's just there's different types of people here in South Florida. This is another melting pot, just like New York City. Yeah. Right. So it's like when a lot of these people come in, I just automatically look at it like, okay, yeah, we're oversaturated like crazy here, way above my head, right? But I'm just like, I gotta work around them. Let them go ahead and work whatever they feel they need to send whatever back home to whoever they got to send it to. But I'm just like, man, it ain't none of my business, So that's how I look at it, Roy. Don't Don't bust my balls.
No, but for real, but
That's
the thing.
kind of
We
my
can't look
point
at it
too.
like that. We can't look at it like that because they're affecting our country. Our economy is eating ass right now because these people are being given the opportunity to vote, and because they're being allowed to do this shit, because people are allowing them to do this shit, they're getting away with it, and now our economy sucks. It can't be too hard to cross the border because we got over 8 million illegals that ran the border in just these last 3 years. Those are statistics. Those numbers are out there. So if you figure 8 million was able to get by, what million didn't get caught or weren't counted for?
Yeah,
Not to mention,
No, I
they
get
vote
it.
for whatever people want to give them, and people go, "Oh, we feel sorry for them." I don't feel sorry for you. Send you back to where you came from and wait like you were when we had the other president in, like it should be, because it's degrading to your family because your family has gone through a process. I can guarantee you, it probably took over 10 years to become naturalized citizens for this country. They worked, busted their ass, paid taxes, and then you got these people that were people. Oh, I don't care. Well, they're not paying the taxes. People say they do, but
yeah.
let's be on.
Yeah,
They're
but here's one more thing I want to.
even worse. So we got, and trust me, somebody in the comments said me giving these people food. I hate to sound like a rat motherfucker, but I will call DoorDash on you. I'm not playing those games. I love my country. It's there for a reason. And so
I think.
I will call DoorDash.
I kind of want to drop in. I just want to drop in.
Go ahead.
Both arguments I think make sense. I agree with both arguments to some extent. Like, hey, we gotta at least control this to some extent. We gotta do something to circumvent some of what's going on. But if you really, I mean, think about your life if you're not working a job and paying taxes properly, or if you're like renting an account, Uber Eats account. Like you really think you're gonna be out here on DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, multi-apping, making $35, $40 an hour out here? You know what $20 an hour out here is for somebody that just came out of the Sonora Desert?
A lot of money.
Mm-hmm. There's that argument as well. I mean, immigration's always been a part of our country, and how's it being handled right now? I don't agree with it whatsoever. I hear you.
Right.
I come from a Cuban background, so my family came from Cuba in '93, and they came the illegal way because the legal way doesn't make sense either.
Yeah.
The legal way doesn't make sense to anybody.
The legal way is a bitch.
It's like they don't make, and it's probably for like a good reason. But I mean, listen, look what's happening either way. How many millions of people are coming to this country, right? I understand him, and UDM as well.
But here's something else to take into consideration. I don't know if y'all remember this, but this happened on DoorDash and it happened on Uber. I know right now if you go to partners.uber.com, you can actually create your own fleet of drivers.
What?
Oh, you didn't know that?
Building that shit down right now, bro.
Go to partners.uber.com and you can create your own fleet of drivers that have their own accounts and they're all working under your account.
Wow.
Boom.
Okay.
Now,
I didn't know that either. Shit.
Land of opportunity, gentlemen.
Not check this out. I don't know if you remember, Pedro, but a few years ago when all of this stuff about like not illegals, but just I forgot the proper terminology, but I guess DoorDash felt like they wanted to help people with DoorDash. It's like they were opening up the doors for people that I guess were not American, but living in America or something like that. It just basically they were saying like immigrants, they were willing to help immigrants in some form of fashion. I don't know if you remember this, right?
Yeah,
It was like
vaguely.
yeah, but they didn't explain what level of help that they were going to give these immigrants. But their whole campaign was focused on immigrants.
That's why we got to be careful with regulations. That's why we got to be careful with regulations and get government involved.
So
But free money has a cost too.
Because then they start pushing buttons, and then next thing you know, you can't work in New York at 5 p.m. You have to get on the schedule. You have to work like a fucking employee. Excuse me. Sorry, I don't mean to curse.
no, you speaking with passion, brother. I hear it.
It's okay.
But what I'm saying is we don't know what. All right. So for instance, right, I would like to believe none of us here are immigrants to the point where we contacted DoorDash to figure out what that portal is, to know what that process is on how they handle us. Suppose this is just me just speaking hypothetically. Suppose these accounts with these random names are actually given by DoorDash because they went through the immigrant portal.
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know anything about that section. I just do recall that they were pushing this whole immigrant thing, and if you're an immigrant or something, then you could like sign up and yada yada yada.
UDM, let me ask you: do you think DoorDash did that because they realized that those individuals might be a form of cheaper labor in some ways, or do you think they were doing it to really help individuals?
I believe there's both hands wash the other, man.
Yeah.
Left wash the right wash the left. So to be honest, to answer your question in a nutshell, did DoorDash see that they were gonna get something out of it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, 100%.
Of course.
$3 orders picked up all day. It's just like when they get hired to pick strawberries. You think they're making the full minimum wage one of us would be making? Hell no.
No,
so
but Roy, I will say this.
Roy,
I will say this. I think you said something about I'll say this. If people that were illegal in this country that did certain levels of work, and they do all kinds of work, okay? They build things, or they do construction, they pick if everybody just went back to where they came from, we'd be fucked in this country. You realize that, Roy, right?
Yeah.
It'd be bad.
Fucking A, man.
It would be bad.
I want to say something.
We would be screwed royally if that happened.
Because you're right, Pedro. You're right, Pedro.
I'll disagree with that because we've had immigration since this country was
beginning.
Made.
No, the country
exactly, and so it doesn't. Now, would it be smart to change the immigration process to maybe help them get here faster? But you can't say because we allowed us to be fucking invaded by 8 million and then some that the country would be screwed up. The pretty much in my eyes, our country is screwed up because of that 8 million plus that have come in that are taking.
Oh, man, our country isn't screwed up, bro. This is the thing, man.
Well, the problem is.
I want to say something. I had the perspective that Real Talk Roy had for a while, for like about a week. I heard about it. I was like, man, these guys are like, I got a Shake Shack in the market. These guys are all in front of the Shake Shack. I work on an e-bike. I do 12 hours, 8 hours on an e-bike, right? These guys are all in front of the Shake Shacks, all the prime areas, everything. Like they just stand there. I can't even drive through and get a pickup order, right? But then after a while, like, I don't know, I just got in a good mood one day and I went out on like a Tuesday or like a Wednesday. And I went back to the regular numbers I had. You guys, I'm not sure. We're not having that much of a discussion on how many mind games we're playing with ourselves. You know, because we make up all these things in our head, and then we get in the car, we get in the e-bike, and next thing you know, it's like, oh man, I'm only making $20 an hour. It's because of this. Maybe it's because you just got a negative attitude towards it. I'm not saying you, Roy. I'm just saying like that's the experience I've had recently. And also, I think these people are essential. You know,
okay.
This is a very. I think these people are essential. You know why I think these people are essential? I think these people are essential because I've been out on my e-bike in the rain, and I don't make as much money than as if I would have went out when I'm not outside in the rain. Right? What does that say? That means that it gets so busy that I can't even get decent orders. I can't even multi-stack properly, right? So I'm looking at like what, 20, almost 25, 30% less money. Like these people, like they have a purpose in the overall discussion, you know? So it's like, I hear where you're coming from, though.
But the problem is everybody wants to only apply this to gig work. It's not just gig work. It's called driver safety because these guys are out driving on the road without a driver's license or a fake driver's license. They blast into you, take off. Trust me, 2 weeks ago, I just dealt with it with a hit and run. Now my car's all fucked up. I got to pay $500 because somebody decides to just hit my car and take off. But so there's other things. Police officers being killed in that city you're right next to, New York, by these immigrants that just taking advantage of the system.
I know about it. Yeah, I know about it.
I apply my life to just gig work. I fucking hate gig work. I despise gig. But at the same time, we gotta apply things. And if you're on
we love you, boy.
Like
we love
10
you.
hours a day, you got to deal with these guys that don't have driver's license, no car insurance. They blast you on your e-bike, bro. Then where are you at? You ain't making no $30 an hour. You're making jack shit because you're laid up in the hospital if you're not dead, because we're allowing these people just to come in our country and take over. And people are like, oh, just give them what they want. Give them this, give them that.
Yeah, but Roy, Americans do that too, man. Americans drive around with no license.
Yeah, of course. But look at but you got to look at the percentage. Most likely the percentages. The percentage.
No, Roy, you make good points. You make good points.
Because you got to remember, we as Americans, we have driver's licenses. We have license plates. We're being tracked for the most part by our city. They're not. They're just going buying that $15, $100 car off Craigslist, not throwing anything on it, and they're out there picking up orders and doing all other crazy shit with it. So you can't just apply this shit to gig work, because it is all around. It's affecting our country, not just gig work, but your daily life. Like I said, you might be the one that needs to find another job, and you can't because they're willing to give this guy $10 where they're supposed to be paying him $15.
Yeah, I think we've always had an issue of how to handle immigration here, but I feel like now it's just amplified because there's just a bigger population of us overall, illegal or legal in this country. But we've always had this issue. I mean, none of us on this panel, great grandparents are from this country. Not one of you guys. We all know that.
Well, the problem, Pedro, is the problem is no one wants to do minimum wage anymore. So all our McDonald's is filled with immigrants. All our restaurants filled with immigrants because nobody's want to do minimum wage anymore.
Nobody wants to work anymore, bro. Nobody wants to work anymore.
It's not even just the work.
I can't blame them for the minimum wage in my country, though, or my country, my neck of the woods. Fucking still $7.25 an hour here.
Give me a minimum wage.
Bananas.
Give me a minimum wage. I'll give you 14 hours of my day.
You raise the bottom, you drop the ceiling, and that's a big problem we're having. And also, you give people, hey, we'll give you $1,000 a month if you come to my sanctuary city. I think that's New York City, just for example. And yeah, it's a big pull, but that money has to come from somewhere, and we're paying the price in inflation. So if you raise the bottom, you raise inflation, you give out free money, you raise inflation, and that's the problem we have compounding, not just the immigration problem itself. That there are immigrants here. My tiny St. Lawrence County, which is a rural-ass county up against Canada, has an emergency because they expect a flood of migrants to eventually be sent to us by Kathy.
I'm conflicted, bro.
I'm gonna go out on a limb.
I'm conflicted, man, because it's like you ever heard of rice and beans and fried eggs, bro, and a little bit of salt on top. I'm conflicted.
UDM,
rice and beans,
Inflation's not touching me, man.
Yeah, UDM, what were we saying?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this. Okay, I hear everybody's points. I heard Roy. I heard everybody, right? But I'm gonna come from a more conspiracy theories perspective, right?
All right, give it to us. I like.
I'm gonna tell y'all this, right?
A little Jesse the Body Ventura, if you will.
All right, so check this out. I hear everything everybody is saying, but I don't believe. Excuse my language for those that don't know that I cuss. I don't believe shit that I see on the damn news. Now, that's just me. That's me, okay? I'm speaking from my perspective.
Yep.
As long as I've known my parents to be immigrants, right? There's been in and out of all kind of immigration going in and out of this country for years. But now that it's broadcasted on the news, like, oh, we have an immigration problem. We have an immigration problem. And now these jobs that are easy to get, like a DoorDash or an Uber. They're signing up for these. Now they're coming out the woodworks, right? Now they're out in the open. So it's like, oh my gosh, we have an immigration problem. Because why? There's a lot more people on the road doing gig work, which requires you to have a vehicle of some sort to get from point A to point B. So this is an easy job to get. And the news is blasting saying this is an immigration problem, but it's been an immigration problem for even before gig work, before the news started blasting it. That's an immigration problem. You want to know how I know that? Y'all know for how many years did construction workers pick up workers in the Home Depot parking lot? No
Forever.
paper. I'll
Yeah, I've
wait.
seen it. New York. I've seen it a lot in New York.
It's not just the news though, man. I mean, it's also Pedro. It's like, why are we here right now, bro? Like, I love you, bro, but like and just you, man. I mean, you guys got that. You guys got that ability too. Anybody could talk about what we're talking about. Have different perspectives on a broad
Yeah.
spectrum.
Yeah.
That's a great thing. Like, to me, this is the best we could do is just talk to each other, bro.
Yeah, it's a good. I mean, we're all we're gig workers here, or we did it at some point, and I know it's a topic that a lot of people talk about, and it's hard to know what everybody's perspective is going to be different, and where you live is how you're impacted by it's going to be different. But I just wanted to get you guys' opinion because I know you guys are from all different backgrounds here, different markets, and I know it's something that a lot of people are thinking about because earnings are down across the board, and now we have more people doing this work, American or not. Like at the end of the day, that's still competition. So curious to know how you guys just kind of look at it. So I appreciate y'all's candor. I think it's good.